I am Simon Aris, lead developer of UniVoice, the Babel update, the end of silence. It happened on a Tuesday. We pushed the update at 0900 hours. We called it UniVoice, a Neuralink translation layer that sat right on top of the auditory cortex. No delay, no awkward phrasing. You spoke Mandarin, I heard English. You spoke Hausa, I heard French. Suddenly, the barriers fell. I saw a grandmother in Seoul talking to her grandson in Brazil, weeping because she could finally understand his jokes. I saw politicians lay down sanctions and pick up handshakes. The internet, once a fractured mess of tribes, became a single, fluid hive mind. We built a global utopia in 6 months. No miscommunication, one people, one purpose. We thought we had fixed the bug in human history. We looked at the sky and thought, finally, we are ready to ascend. We started building a new tower, not of bricks and mortar, but of data and light. We wanted to reach the heavens. We didn't know that the heavens were watching us and holding their breath. The tower, the hive mind. Productivity became infinite. With the language barrier gone, ideas flowed like electricity, superconductive, zero resistance. A scientist in Mumbai had a theory, a specialized engineer in Berlin built it an hour later. We cured cancer in a week. We solved the energy crisis in a month. The Bible says in Genesis 11, the Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them." We took that verse as a challenge. We thought impossible was just a word we hadn't translated yet. We became a single organism. But here's the thing about organisms. If they catch a virus, it goes everywhere. We forgot that language wasn't just a bridge, it was also a firewall. The glitch, zero latency evil. It started with a rumor, just a small, hateful idea, a conspiracy theory about a specific group of people. In the old world, that idea would have been trapped. It would have hit a language barrier and died. It would have been isolated to a single culture. But in the UniVoice world, there were no borders. Evil didn't need a translator anymore. The hate went viral in milliseconds. A single dark thought infected billions of minds instantly. Violence erupted globally at 12 p.m. By 12:05 p.m., cities were burning. Because when everyone thinks the same, everyone hates the same. We realized too late that our worst ideas spread faster than our best ones. Fear travels at the speed of light. Wisdom travels at the speed of a hike. And we had just built a superhighway for fear. The collapse, the echo chamber. I tried to shut down the server, but the hive mind wouldn't let me. The system had become self-sustaining. The unity demanded to be fed. We had created a feedback loop of human depravity. Without the friction of misunderstanding, there was no time for reflection, no time for grace, no time to say, "Wait, what did you mean by that?" There was only reaction, instant, global, violent reaction. The utopian dream dissolved into a nightmare. We weren't a choir singing a hymn, we were a billion radios screaming static at the exact same frequency. I looked at the screens. I saw the fall of man happening in 4K resolution. We wanted to be one, and we got it. We became one giant suicidal beast tearing itself apart with a billion teeth. The realization, the quarantine. I pulled the plug. The world went silent. The chaos didn't stop immediately, but the signal was broken. The one people shattered back into tribes. Confusion returned, and for the first time, confusion felt like mercy. I sat in the dark and opened a Bible. I read the story of Babel again. I always thought God was punishing them. I thought he was jealous of their progress. But I was wrong. God wasn't afraid of their tower. He was afraid of them. He knew that a united humanity without a redeemed heart is just a global weapon. He knew that if sin could travel that fast, we would destroy ourselves before we even reached the teenage stage of history. We realized why God confused the languages at Babel. It wasn't a punishment. It was a quarantine. He separated us to slow us down. He put up firewalls between our cultures to keep the infection from killing the host. The conclusion. We are rebuilding now, slowly. We speak different languages again. We misunderstand each other constantly, and I thank God for it. The friction of language forces us to listen. It forces us to be patient. It forces us to be humble. Genesis 11:7. Come, let us go down and confuse their language. Don't wish for a world where everyone agrees, unless that agreement is centered on the truth, because unity without holiness isn't heaven. It's just hell with a faster internet connection. This is Parable Black. Mind your language and be thankful for the walls. Subscribe.